What's going on, Bengals fans? We got some bad news to start off on today's video. Trey Hendrickson is officially out for the rest of the season with the Cincinnati Bengals. We talked about it on the video yesterday. Was supposed to, go see a specialist, elected to have season-ending surgery here on what ended up actually being a core injury for Trey Hendrickson, not a hip or a pelvis injury like they kind of expected it was over the past couple of weeks here. This was the official report this morning by Ian Rapoport, saying Trey Hendrickson had a core muscle surgery this morning, sources say. His season is over, but he should be fully recovered in 6 weeks or so. Obviously, there's only 4 more weeks left in the season, so that means the season is over here officially for Trey Hendrickson. Spread the word. I know there's a lot of Bengals fans out there that have been really frustrated about the saga when it comes to this Trey Hendrickson injury, and really I think the mismanagement by this Cincinnati Bengals franchise on what exactly has happened here. So I know there's going to be a lot of Bengals fans that want to know the latest news here on Trey Hendrickson. So share it, whether that's on social media, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, X, whatever you want to call it out there. Text it to a friend, whatever. Let them know the latest here on Trey Hendrickson and the Cincinnati Bengals. All right, let's go through what has happened here with Trey Hendrickson. We've thrown this graphic up here a lot here the past couple of weeks. Was ruled out at halftime of that Week 8 game versus the Jets. Obviously, he was banged up before that. He was playing through the injury, but there was that block right before the half. He was coming off the edge. The left guard for the Jets hit him in the back, knocked him down to the ground, and that was pretty much it for Trey Hendrickson at that point here this season. He was ruled out officially yesterday by Zach Taylor, and now this is going to be 6th straight game that he's missed. Obviously, now it's going to end up being 9. The final 9 games of the season, Trey Hendrickson's going to be gone here for the Bengals. He saw a specialist yesterday, like I said, and now is electing to have that season-ending surgery. We knew the saga coming in here for Trey Hendrickson at the beginning of the season. Was holding in, still trying to have some good faith conversations there with, Katie Blackburn. There was the drama back and forth. She said he just needs to, take what he's being offered. Trey Hendrickson, breaks the silence, does the whole media thing. They ended up coming to a deal, $14 million raise. No long-term extension there for Trey Hendrickson like he wanted. There was a whole saga around the trade deadline. We covered all of that, whether or not he was going to be traded or not. The most anybody was willing to give up for Trey Hendrickson was a 4th-round pick, I believe it was. Now, the big thing about Trey Hendrickson in that deal that they ended up getting done, there is not, emphasis on not, a no-tag clause in his contract. So we don't know what the future is going to hold for Trey Hendrickson here and the Cincinnati Bengals. They could let him walk in free agency. They could tag him. They could tag and trade him. There's a bunch of different things that they could end up doing, which we'll discuss here on today's video. But I want to hear from you guys down inside the comment section, down at the pinned comment of today's video. Will Trey Hendrickson be with the Bengals next season? Let me know what you guys think. Type Y for yes or N for no down at the pinned comment of today's video. So let's go ahead and explore the franchise tag option here for Trey Hendrickson. It's going to be around $35 million a year if the Bengals go down that route, tagging Trey Hendrickson. Now, when they wanted to do the whole contract extension raise thing, Trey Hendrickson, he wanted 3 years, and the Bengals only wanted to give him 1 year. The guaranteed money was a big thing, so they decided to go down, try to look through different options, and they end up settling on this. And, if they do tag Trey Hendrickson, it would be about $35 million, and that would end up being guaranteed. So, really, they would settle on 2 years guaranteed is what it would end up being there. But that is if the Bengals end up franchise tagging him at this point. Now, they could still franchise tag him and trade him, but at the end of the day, $35 million, man, that is a lot for a guy that is now coming off this injury. Now, it's only going to be a 6-week recovery, so by the time you get to training camp next year, he'll be fine at that point. But look, he's getting to be that age at this point. I get it. To start the season, Trey Hendrickson, he had 4 sacks this year in, just 7 games. So he was actually playing pretty well here for the Bengals, but like I said, he's getting to be that age now where those injuries really do start to pile up. Do you want to risk, giving him $35 million to, bring him back next year off of this injury when you do have some young guys that you have invested your time into? I just don't know. Personally, I think this is probably the end for Trey Hendrickson here in Cincinnati. I would personally probably just let him walk in free agency. If he can go get a bag, go let him get a bag. But coming off this injury, I don't really know how much Trey Hendrickson would end up fetching in free agency. And by the way, also, if you let him walk in free agency, there's a chance you get a decent comp pick out of him as well. So that's also a reason why I know a lot of people down in the comments on all of our Trey Hendrickson videos have said, they just need to cut him at this point. Well, it was a legitimate injury, so I think that's unfair. We have all speculated about what it could possibly be here. But you don't necessarily want to affect your comp pick formula by just cutting him here at the end of the season. I would expect he will end up going on the season-ending IR, and there will definitely be a corresponding roster move, I would assume, probably by the end of the day here. All right, we'll continue with some more Trey Hendrickson conversation and what it means for the Bengals here in the future in just a second. But first, we want to give a shout-out to the sponsor of today's show. It is Omaha Steaks. From holiday hosting to unforgettable gifts, Omaha Steaks delivers the world's best steak experience. You guys this holiday season can do what I did and gift family and friends USDA-certified tender steaks, juicy burgers, cozy and convenient comfort meals, and so much more. And right now, during their Sizzle All the Way sale, you guys can get 50% off site-wide at omahasteaks.com. Plus our listeners here at Bengals Breakdown, that means you listening to this video right now, you would get an extra $35 off on top of the 50% off just by using promo code Bengals at checkout. You can see it right there on screen, folks. It is not just meat. It is not just beef. It is steak. They have steak, they have chicken, they have pork, they have seafood. They've got lobster in a couple of these Omaha steak bundles, and they've also got some really good sides, by the way, as well. In desserts, they have the caramel apple tartlets. They have scalloped potatoes. They have fries. They got a bunch of different things that you guys can choose from. And by the way, they have a bunch of different bundles that you guys can choose from as well. A couple of these bundles, by the way, you get for under $100 if you use that promo code Bengals at checkout to get the $35 off, as well as the 50% off that you already get at omahasteaks.com. Site-wide sale right now during their Sizzle All the Way sale. Like I said, $35 extra off just by using promo code Bengals at checkout. Terms do apply, and you can see that website for extra details. But I will also say this as well. Some of these bundles, you get free shipping. And also, orders placed before 6 p.m. Eastern time ship the exact same day, so you can get them really, really quickly. Visit omahasteaks.com for 50% off site-wide during their Sizzle All the Way sale. For an extra $35 off, use promo code Bengals at checkout. Terms do apply. See the website for extra details, but it's omahasteaks.com, promo code Bengals. That link down in the comment section and the description of today's video. All right, so like I said, man, Trey Hendrickson, when he's out there on the football field, he's the best player on this Bengals defense. There's no ifs, ands, ors, or buts about it. He is the best player on this Bengals defense. And when he's not out there, they really do struggle. It sucks, man. The last couple of seasons, he has been absolutely incredible, been one of the best players in the National Football League. You could argue, maybe even last year might have got, kind of looked over for, MVP of the entire league. Led the league the past 2 years in 17.5 sacks apiece. And without him, you're going to have Joseph Ossai, you're going to have Myles Murphy. And while these guys have been okay, they just haven't really been able to, consistently get, finish those sacks on the quarterback there. You see, they got a lot of pressures. But, like we saw this week, when you are getting to the quarterback, you're getting him outside the pocket, what are they doing? They're just running it. And, I think Joseph Ossai's been better than a guy like Myles Murphy. But Joseph Ossai also going to be a free agent after the season. So what are you going to do? Are you going to re-sign Joseph Ossai to a longer contract, or are you going to let him walk in free agency as well? You just drafted Shamar Stewart, but unfortunately, he has missed the majority of this season with an injury for him as well. So, you got Myles Murphy. You got some of the other guys, Foskey, Sample, and, Sed Johnson as well. But, future here for Trey Hendrickson is kind of up in the air. What are you going to do with Joseph Osai? Are you going to end up drafting a defensive end in the first round? Let those two guys walk. I think there's a lot of questions here. Are the Bengals going to end up going a little bit cheaper here and younger on defense? That's a big question mark that I think we're going to have to ask ourselves here as we get ready for the 2026 NFL Draft. So let me know what you guys think. Will the Bengals, or do the Bengals, need to draft a defensive end in round 1? Let me know what you guys think. I know we all want to go after a safety or a linebacker, but with what's happening right now at that edge rusher spot, this is a legitimate question to ask. Type 1 if you think it's a yes. Type 2 if you think it's a no. All right, some of the top edge rushers / linebackers in this defensive line, or in this 2026 recruiting class. Arvell Reese, I know a lot of people really want him. I don't think he's going to get down to you. Ruben Bain, kind of the same exact thing there. I probably don't think he falls past like 6 or 7, maybe 8. I know there's going to be a lot of teams that are going to be quarterback needy in the top 10 there, but if the Bengals continue to win like a couple of more games, they might end up being outside the top 10. I think right now they're at 10. Keldrick Falk is another one. I've seen him picked in multiple, first round drafts, mock drafts here. But I'll be completely honest, he's not even the best player on that Auburn defense right now. David Bailey, he's had a pretty good season as well. He could slide down to that edge rusher spot, I think, too. Cassius Howell also has had a pretty good season there for the Texas A&M Aggies as well. So there's a couple top prospects that you could end up getting in the NFL draft. Not all of those guys are, going to be there, but I would be willing to bet at least one of them is, because like I said, there are some quarterback-needy teams there in the top 10. I know a lot of people are really hoping that Caleb Downs ends up sliding to you. If you're at this spot right now and you let Trey Hendrickson go, you let Joseph Osai go, are you going to go, if Caleb Downs is there, would you go with Caleb Downs, or would you go with one of these top edge rushers in the 2026 NFL draft? All right, man, it really sucks that we got to bring you guys this news, but at this point, just is what it is right now. Trey Hendrickson has elected to have season-ending surgery here on what actually ended up being a, core surgery. They speculated that it was a hip/pelvis injury. They think it was just one of those muscles kind of connecting everything together there. So Trey Hendrickson, unfortunately, going to be out for the rest of the season, and his future here with the Cincinnati Bengals as of right now is kind of up in the air. Make sure you guys are subscribed right here to Bengals Breakdown. We got breaking news videos for you guys as soon as it comes out here on the channel. Free videos pretty much every single day here on the channel, so do not miss out. Make sure you guys are subscribed. By the way, we're going to be live. I know the season's pretty much cooked at this point, but we're going to be live for every single Bengals game for the rest of the season, and we'll have plenty of draft coverage and free agency coverage here once the season ends as well. So don't miss out. Join the community. Hit that sub button for me right now.